Yo, 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 what's up, people? We are back with another Friday night session. Yes, we're back here doing artist interviews. Thank you all for tuning in. Let us know if you can hear us, if you can see us, everything's cool. Um, I would like to introduce another artist. It's been crazy for music right now. People are just releasing left, right, and center. But this particular artist, like I've known her for a while. She's been doing her thing, singing around, and it's good to see her just like getting out there, breaking out by herself. So please give a round of applause in your house to Nicole Sanderson. Woo! Hey there,
Thank
man. How's
you.
it going?
Thank you. Yeah, it's going good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm just enjoying this time. I'm enjoying the Sabbath, and I'm here. I'm ready to getting some chat, ready to just get to know you a little bit more.
Oh,
So like I was saying to you before, like we're just here having a conversation, right? But I wanted to, with everyone else, I normally start with like, what's your background? Da, da, da. But
mhm.
there's something interesting. So when I went on your website, I noticed that you said that your primary influence is Mary Mary, right?
It is.
Talk to me a little about Mary Mary. Like what was your first
Uh,
introduction to them? How why are they such a big influence for you?
my first introduction to Mary Mary was being in my dad's car and him. Basically, my dad used to always have the latest gospel music. So every Friday, we would wait for him to come home because he always had a new CD, whether it was Mary Mary's latest song, Fred Hammond, whoever it was. And for me, Mary Mary it just literally captivated my entire soul. From their first song, Shackles, their first album, I just learned how to sing, I think,
Mm.
mimicking what they do, if that makes sense. Trying to do all their runs and harmonize with their runs and do, all sorts of stuff like that. But I love the fact that their harmonies were so close and there were times you couldn't tell who was singing what and, whatever. And also their story, Erica was married to Warren, who's now like a huge producer, so
Yeah.
mega talented, and like it was just very easy for them to do what they were doing because they were surrounded by the right people. But for me, their sound just connected with me on a whole nother level. um just everything about them, I don't even know like what to say. Everything about them, just
Yeah.
I love literally.
I hear that, man. Like me, for me, so, and I'm yet to have someone challenge me on this. I'm say this now. Name me a better, like in the 2000s, that is, a better
Mm.
debut gospel album than Thankful. There isn't one.
Oh,
I'm just letting people know
yeah.
that, yeah, Thankful, then Incredible. Nah, those two
Yes,
albums, I don't
they
hear
are. Yeah. We're
like
still singing songs from them. That's how influential
exactly.
they were. And we're going to keep singing songs
And what I
from
loved
them.
is, yeah, what I loved is that there was no like fillers. Like every track was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
amazing. Like
Yeah.
that's what I loved about the album. Like there's not a song that I'd be like, not really a fan. Like I would
You
play that
don't
album
skip.
straight
Yeah.
through. So
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
skip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They even
I
had
never
Destiny's
used to
Child on it,
skip.
didn't they?
They did. They did. They had Destiny's Child at one point. They had Fred Hammond. I think they've had everybody, like all of the
Yeah.
greats. Kirk Franklin, like everybody they've had on
Yeah.
there. But what I love is that they can do such a huge album, but every single song is like distinct and unique for what it
Mm.
is itself. And you just can't get tired of listening to them. Well, I can't anyway. I just, yeah,
No,
just incredible.
I'm with you on that. Like, I think for one of my favorite songs is Somebody, but even like
Mm,
what I love about it is that there's just so many different things going on that album. Like, I got it is like the beat, like it's just like oof. When I heard it first time, I was like,
mm,
and then they got the traditional stuff like Can't Get on Wade in the Water.
mm.
Like they've got the whole thing, man.
They
So
have.
and then even like, Thank You on the second album and stuff like,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. Even I Can't
super
Give Up
dope,
Now.
man.
Like that song it's still going. Like it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
relevant. Like, how do you make a song that is relevant in every single year, every single season? Relevant in
Mm,
words, tune, like musicality, the whole works. Like you got to be a
Mm.
genius to come up with those melodies. And I also, one of the other things I love about them is their song progression. I love the way they take you through the song, and build up in the right places and at the right time. Just, yeah,
Yeah.
phenomenal. It's just, yeah, it must be it's an art, isn't it? So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I guess like who else in terms of like, so you got Mary Mary as like your primary influence, but like who
Yeah.
else sort of
Clark
are big influences
Sisters,
for you?
I would say
Mm.
Clark Sisters, Fred Hammond, when he became Fred Hammond himself.
Mm.
I'm not really a huge fan of Marvin. If Jermaine is watching this, he's going to be quite upset if I say that.
Jermaine,
But I'm just
how
not a
you guys have been
huge
married, Jermaine?
fan.
Like, how have you not converted her to? Anyway, sorry.
Sorry. Do you know what it is? With Marvin, I feel like, uh, to me, I can only listen to one song and then I need to listen to something else. I couldn't listen to a whole album of Marvin Sapp. Like, I love him. I think he's fantastic. He's got some amazing songs, but it's like, you know, when you eat too much food and like you don't feel great. Do you know what I mean? After you just sort of feel a bit, yeah.
Right, because it's funny because like, well, it's good that we only played one Marvin Sapp song in the beginning. We were just playing Power to start this whole thing off. So who else are your inspirations? Who else do you like count as like people
um,
that you really listen to?
there's loads. Does anybody know Tremaine Hawkins? Possibly.
Oh, come on.
That
Changed.
voice
Woof.
for me.
Yeah.
She's what I love about her is that her range is
Yes.
unbelievable. Like there's Karen
Hmm.
Sheard and she's amazing as well. But there's something about Tremaine and those turnaround notes
Yeah.
and the way
Mm.
she just embodies the song. She doesn't even have to do that much. She's
Yeah.
not what I would call a riffer or a riff or runner, but she has
True.
those subtle turns that to me are just like timeless. I just love her voice. Yeah. Who else? Ooh, obviously Kirk Franklin for me, he's kind of in his own box. I can't put him
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
comparison to anybody else. He's just
Mm.
amazing. Like through and through. Yeah, I can't compare him with other people, unfortunately. Some of the newer guys, like I do love their sound and their songs, but again, I find I can't listen to the whole album. There's just one or
Mm.
two songs I pick and make my own album from their songs. I can't like
Right.
listen to everything they produce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Travis Green, I think he's got some excellent songs, but I couldn't listen to a whole album. I couldn't.
So it's like you're one of those. Are you one of those people that's like, well, back in my day, the music was better, and in the '90s and the 2000s was where it was at.
Well, it was, yeah.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm with you though.
I can't. The thing is, I think the real test is, can we live without that music now? No, we can't. We still
Mm.
bust those tunes from the 90s. Like every now and then they make their way into our playlist. Like the other day we were listening to like some current music and then I had and he shall purify. That just dropped in. I had obviously put that in there. And
Yeah.
it just like that song is a masterpiece anyway. But it's like you can't
I'm guessing you're
replace
talking about
it.
Young
There's
Soulful
nothing like
Messiah
it.
here, right?
Yeah, sorry. For those that
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
You can't replace that. Even like some of
Mm.
the BB and CC Winans songs, like one of
Ah,
me and
come on.
Jermaine's favorite songs is
In
Heaven. I don't know if you've
return.
heard it. Heaven. Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
uh, that song. And the
Tune.
thing is, the
It's
music is
what I
so
live
old.
for.
The music is so old, like that ding 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 ding, like the guitar and
Yeah.
everything. Like it's old, but
Yeah.
like you can't replace
You can't.
those old classics. So yeah, they're still living through me. So
Mm.
they're still in my
Yeah.
playlist. They always will be. But yeah.
I hear that, man. So in that case, then, since we're talking about influences and back in the 90s and 2000s, I guess let's talk about a little bit about your experiences then. In terms of like how you grew up, was music like a big part of your part of your household? Was it like
Yeah.
musician? Did you grow up with musicians, or was it like how was your upbringing in terms of music?
I would say, yeah, it was most definitely heavily musical, if you can even, if that's even a phrase. Both of my parents sang. They sang in one of the famous, they tell me it's famous, but not many people know about them, but the Handsworth Chorale,
Oh yeah,
from back in the day. The two of them were in there. They even have some tapes from there, but anyway, that's another story. But they both sang. My mum, she loved music just generally, but my dad was the one who had the entire range. He would go from Kirk Whalum to like
yes.
what's that guy's name? The older gentleman. What's his name again?
What does he do? Singer?
He sings, yeah, it's almost like country gospel.
What, like Jim Reeves and them, man?
That's it. Yeah. Jim
Of
Reeves. If you
course.
would like, that was my spectrum. There was just
Yeah.
everything. BB and CC, you know, I think I've listened to every song they've ever done.
Yeah.
Every time we were in the car, we had to have the songs. We had this competition where we all had to select our favorite song and my dad would play it, you know, like when we used to drive long distance and stuff. And we would just
Yeah.
sing the entire
You
song.
load up the CD and just go in.
Listen, those CDs, you can't
Yeah.
even replace those moments. And that
Yeah.
was music for us. It was just so vast. There was just so much, so many genres, so many different sort of styles and songs, and we rated it together, but we were always listening to music. And then
Mm.
he would introduce me to like, you know, some of the other secular artists who were around at the time. So I just listened to everything, basically, everything.
Yeah.
There wasn't much that we didn't really listen to, but that was good music, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of that then, so how did you get started? So I guess you obviously started singing in your house, but how did that translate into like church? Like
Yeah.
were you part of choirs and stuff like that and all the whole thing?
Yeah. Singing for me, yeah, as far as I can remember, I've always sung. I remember an older lady from Reading Central Church kind of forced me and another guy called Theo to
Mm.
sing all the time. And we were just like, we don't really want to sing, but because it makes her happy, we'll just do it. And she used to write these
Yeah.
songs out for us to sing, and we used to sing them all the time. And for me, that's really where it started, because I then married what I was listening to with, actually, I enjoy doing this a lot. It gave me something that no other ministry gave me at the time. So it was very easy for me to fall into it because I was surrounded by music all the time. I was either going with my parents where they sung, or like my dad would always be going to, like, there was always concerts in London, like Balham. And I just remember sometimes we were always there every Sabbath evening at some concert that was taking place,
Yeah.
because my dad just loved music so much, and we would just be there. So for me, it was very easy for me to just fall into it, I suppose. And the more I did it, the more I loved doing it, basically. And it just continued, and then that just evolved into choirs and all sorts of other stuff.
So when you mentioned concerts, I don't, is it just me or like is there's not that many as much concerts around as before? Like I'm not talking in
uh,
the secular sense, but in the church sense, like I feel like there's not as many
nah,
concerts. I feel like back in
there
I used to be
isn't.
at concerts all
There
the
was one
time.
every, yeah, all I remember from my childhood was concerts and patties, because every time we went
Yeah,
to a concert,
yes,
they were selling patties. And so I knew if we
yeah.
were going to a concert, I was going to have
Little
a
grape
patty
soda
and
outside.
yes, grape soda and vegetable patties, because obviously, like, we were vegetarians. So for
Yeah.
me, when I eat a patty, I think about those times. That's how
Mm,
synonymous they were for me, because it's almost nostalgic, actually, in a way. But I've
yeah.
never been to concerts like that now. Like, they just don't really exist.
Yes, it's weird, and I guess even in a time like this, there's not there's not as many there's not going to be as many concerts, obviously for obvious reasons.
Mm,
But I think the good thing is that people are just sort of taking on the baton and just being like, you know what, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to make music in
yeah,
my sort of in my own way. So I guess
absolutely.
thinking about your like journey then, Like, so obviously you've been singing in church and stuff, but um, like the Reading Community Gospel Choir, you're part of that, right?
Yeah, so I co-conduct. Yes, I'm one of the
Cool.
conductors. So me and Gemma conduct the choir and leads musically, basically. Yeah. So
So,
it started, that started in
mm,
2007, actually. That started
right,
from my mum wanting us to do, basically, she was head of the music department at church, and she wanted it to have an evangelistic arm to it. She didn't want to just do and facilitate stuff in church all the time. So she said, why don't we put on a Black History event about gospel music, and teach people to sing, in gospel style, and invite like Colin and Celia, because at the time they were sort of starting up with their choirs, and do a
right,
workshop. So the workshop was so good, it was so well attended, that we were like, we have to continue this. And this is our
right.
11th or 12th year, 11th or 12th year, I think, something like that.
Wow.
So I remember I was 17, I think, 17 or 18 when I first joined the choir.
Okay.
Colin was principal conductor, Gemma was director, and I just used to sing and just help out with the
Mm,
parts. I remember, because I'm actually naturally an alto, but for the purposes of the choir, they needed a soprano to kind of help with the soprano. So I was like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well, I'll just sing soprano. So choirs actually developed my voice in a massive way. Anybody
Right.
who's like, how do I sing more? Join a choir. Just join a choir, get involved and sing, because there's something about singing in a choir that just changes, it just transforms your voice. It brings it out. It gives you confidence. Like, the list is, I could just go on and on about choirs, but yeah, we wanted the evangelistic arm anyway, and something for community people to sort of bridge that gap and be a part of church.
Mm,
So we started the Reading Community Gospel Choir. We started with one non-Adventist member, in 2007. Now there's over 30, and they outnumber the Adventist members.
wow.
So we have
It's amazing.
completely, like yeah,
Yeah.
grown in so many different ways. People have got married, gone away, come back, had children, gone away, come back. It's like a family, it's like another church, basically.
Yeah.
But it really
Amazing.
has given me so many opportunities, in so
Yeah.
many different ways. It's just unbelievable how many opportunities I've had since singing in the choir. And so for me, in order to give back to what it has given to me, I decided that I would lead, and help support the leadership with songs and things like that, which has been great, because it's another skill I've learned. So it's been good.
Yeah. And so I guess like in terms of the Reading Community Gospel Choir, like you guys ended up actually going on Songs of Praise, right? For the choir of the
We did.
year.
We did, yeah. We went on Songs of
And what
Praise.
happened?
We won the whole competition. To be honest, it was actually our second time on the competition.
Ah,
We did it the
okay.
first time, and I don't know, I personally, I don't think it was our time, and it wasn't.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
but we went back again, under our new leadership and current leadership, and we won the whole thing. I remember talking about, what song do you sing, because the song choice is so crucial to these competitions. You have to
Yeah.
make sure you have the right song. It can't be too much, and it can't be too little. And I
Mm,
remember, talking to even Colin about it, and he gave some suggestions, because we were going to do Jesus is a Rock, but we settled on Ride on King Jesus and Stranger. Ride on King Jesus, I actually arranged that arrangement for the competition, because I felt like it's such an old
mm,
song. It's such an old song, but it's an amazing song, but there's so much more we can do to it.
yeah.
So speaking with Gemma, who is much more technical and into her notation than me, I just sang what I thought it should sound like, and she just, notated it. And it just transposed. And my mum as well. My mum is super duper creative. She is just off the wall creative. You can play her something
Right.
and she will just come up with stuff. So all of us together, we just, made it work. And yeah, even to this day, we've had people asking for that arrangement because they're like, it's nothing they've ever heard before. We had a couple of people in America asking for it, which was quite nice. So yeah, it was a good experience. It was a long day. It was a long day, but it was a good experience, definitely. Yeah.
And I guess in terms of like arranging, is that so that's like do you feel like that's a skill that you sort of learn under within the gospel choir, like you sort of, or
Definitely.
is that something you've been doing for a while?
I would say it's something that I've been doing for a while because I've always, prior to the competition and things like that, I kind of sang in another group called Voice, I think we called ourselves. In fact, I sang in two groups. I sang in one called Harmony and one called Voice. Harmony was a 3-girl group with me and 2 other friends. And we used to sing a lot of Virtue. Do you remember Virtue? Oh, they're amazing.
Oh, don't even get me
Virtue.
start. Listen, don't get me. If I start on Virtue, I won't stop.
Did you go to their concert in Wembley?
Yes.
I was there as well. Changed my life.
I was there.
Oh.
I must have been
about like 12, and I can't remember how old I was actually.
Yeah.
But that was so good to see them.
Yeah, man. What's your favorite Virtue? Sorry, what's your favorite Virtue song?
Oh gosh. Oh. I would have to say, is it called Put Your War Clothes On, or Ready,
from the minute
the
key bass comes in?
Let me tell you,
come on,
that song. That song.
Ready, aim, fire.
In Jesus' name, wanna go higher. Oh, that song is incredible.
Yes, that's my tune.
We also rinsed, I have to say rinsed, because we sang it so much that, people thought it was us. I must tell Jesus. I must tell Jesus.
Yeah.
That song got rinsed.
What is it about groups where everyone just finds that it's like we find that one song,
so we can't
like, all right, cool,
for it. Yeah,
we can't deviate, like everyone likes the song and then everyone expects you to do it and then you just rinse it to bits.
When I say it was rinsed, honestly, like even like older people, older people are quite tolerant. They're like, you got any other songs you're gonna sing? You're just gonna sing the same song? Any other songs you're learning? And I used to be like, we need to learn a new song. But it was just such a great song to sing. It was just Virtue, man. People don't know those were the days.
They don't. These young lot, they don't know Virtue.
They don't know. Those were the days. Honestly. Yeah.
That's dope, man. But you were part of these, so you were part of these two. I feel like and I feel that's another thing I feel like there isn't as much of anymore. There's not as many groups.
No,
anymore.
There isn't. There
used to be a time when there was just groups. Everybody was like, everyone was part of a group. Honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, I call it a collab now, but I love to sing. Like I sing occasionally with Soul Thirst Music, Charlotte. Funnily enough, Charlotte also used to listen a lot to Mary Mary. So there's a lot of similarities in our tone at different points. And when we sing together, sometimes we can't even tell who's actually singing the harmony or like who's in what part. So there's obviously a lot that we've taken from them into our music and into our sound. It's quite powerful. But yeah, I do sing occasionally with them. And honestly, I love to sing with Tochi and Charlotte. Honestly, it's like one of the best things ever. Like I can't express fully on here how much I enjoy singing with those two. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, man.
So hopefully we'll be doing some stuff soon. Hopefully some covers or something like that.
Okay.
Cool. So that will be exciting. But yeah, they definitely have a special place in my heart. Definitely.
I hear that. So I guess we're here talking about like the collabs and stuff, but you've now like you've done choir stuff and all these different types of things, but now you've like sort of branched off by yourself. When did you kind of decide to make that move, and like and why?
It's a very, very good question. I think it all started just before I turned 30, so last year. I just kind of felt that I was so involved in so many different things, but if I
Mm,
really sat and thought about it, I couldn't show you or play something that I had done apart from a couple of, other songs with the choir, whatever. And I felt like a bag that is completely full, but like it's just
mm,
sitting there, and it's not like nobody's like it's just a full bag of just sitting there. And I realized
mm.
that I was sitting on a lot of ideas and things that choir wasn't actually feeding anymore. I needed another outlet.
Yeah.
Um, and I just decided that I was just gonna give this thing a try. Like, I've sung so many years, I've always sung with people. I love music, I enjoy what I do, I have tons of ideas and songs. Why not
Mm,
just try and write it? And I remember speaking to Jermaine about it, and he was just like, just write. You've got Garage Band, like just write stuff, just go for it. And
yeah.
so that brings me to He Cares, because it was a Sunday afternoon. Like, I was watching TV. Jermaine was playing on his he's got like a small keyboard that is attached to Logic, I think. If that's right. If that's right, somebody say that's right. But he was just making beats and songs, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you a tune, a song." So I said, "Okay, let me hear what it
Mm.
sounds like." So he played it, and literally as soon as he played it, I just started singing. I know that he cares for, and I just started singing, looping the chorus, and he was like, "This is a good song. This is like a good song."
Right.
And I thought, I actually like we spent literally like 4 hours just messing about, like singing stuff, and I enjoyed it so much. I was like, yeah, this is it. I want to do this now. I'm ready. I want to do this. And so I said, yep, I'm going to take it seriously. Let's finish the track. Let's lay down parts, vocals, and it just literally evolved from there, basically, to what it is
Wow.
now, I suppose. And yeah, I recorded most of the song in our little flat here. And the last few bits I actually went to a studio to do, because I just needed like some other equipment or whatever. But most of it was actually recorded at home, to be honest.
Okay.
So Jermaine was there. We did argue a lot, because he was telling me, you need to do it again, and I was saying, no, I don't need to do it again. So there was a lot of, he'll tell you that he won't work with me again because he thinks that I'm a diva, but I'm not. He's the diva. But we definitely like clashed a lot, but I think it was a good clash because we just wanted the best for the song.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
he definitely knows how to get the best out of my voice. And even though I
Mm.
don't want to always admit it, I will say, yeah, he does know what's best when it comes to parts and things
Jermaine is
like
on
that.
wax now. She can't
So
ever not say it's true.
I have to say, what can I say? Now, but honestly, he is probably one of the best songwriters I have ever worked with. I'm not even just saying that because he's my husband, but Jermaine will literally sit and will hear all 5 parts at the same time and then sing them. And I'm like, how did you hear that? I can just about hear the melody and a couple harmonies, but you're hearing all this other stuff and you're writing it at the same time. Like, he just has a phenomenal skill and talent. And so I am so blessed to definitely have him, one, as my husband, but just to be able to work with him musically is just, yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
if you lot don't know about Jermaine, like, I mean, I've known this guy for
Yeah.
years, like years and years and years, but musically,
Mm,
that's the thing. There's some people that people just you just don't know. But
yeah.
listen,
He,
Jermaine,
yeah.
no, like the parts, like I have archive files on my
I
hard
know.
drive sitting right.
I'm not
Jermaine
surprised.
is serious,
Yeah,
serious guy. Like,
he
and
is.
he'll know what I'm talking about. And some people on this chat will know what I'm talking about. Jermaine has like some archive stuff that he just needs to just Release
Yes,
it.
he does. He made a mistake of sending my mom some songs that he wrote, some gospel songs. She will not let him live. She's like, you need to release this. You
Good.
need to release it. Every time she says to him, Jermaine, when are you going to release those 2 songs?
Yes.
Oh,
Good.
they were years ago, mom. I can't. And she's like, no, you need to release those songs. She plays them on her computer at work. And
Yeah.
she knows like both of the songs. They haven't even been released, but they're just incredible songs. He's
Yeah.
so good.
Amazing.
When I get stuck on a word, I'm like, what word rhymes with this, or what could I say here? And he just comes with the phrase, the word. So yeah,
Real
he's
talent, man.
definitely gifted.
So did he produce? Did he produce this?
He produced some of it. Yep, he did. And to be honest, yeah, I went to an engineer to do all the blending and the mixing and stuff. But yeah, Jermaine
Yeah.
basically produced it. And we had another friend of ours called Dane who actually produced the track for us. So yeah, basically, yeah, Jermaine produced this one.
Cool. And so
Yes.
did you literally do this over lockdown? Was that when you, or was
No,
it done
so
before?
it feels like it, but it was actually written last year. And
Right.
then
Okay.
I just didn't, I don't know what happened. I think I just felt like it wasn't the time to release it. For some reason, I just didn't feel it was the time. And then lockdown came this time, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is the song for this time. So when I sung it
Mm.
and wrote it, it was being written for now. That's how I feel,
Yeah.
genuinely.
Yeah.
Because if I had released it then, it wasn't the right time. I still don't feel it was the right time back then, but now it was the right time. Definitely.
Yeah.
And it just encourages me even more that sometimes you just feel, because I remember in the middle of lockdown I was like, is God actually can he see what's going on? Like, how does he feel about this situation? Because like on a
Mm.
level, yeah, this is a bit annoying. And like what like I just wanted to know. And I remember talking to him and I was just like Wagwan, like what's going on with this? Like, is this going on for a long time, or is this a quick thing, or and
Mm.
so I remember the song came back to me and I was just like, nah, this song is for now. He does care. I know he cares, because when I think about everything that's happened in my life, like he cares, hands down, he cares for us. It's as simple as that. And I remember reading 1 Peter 5 verse 7, which talks about, obviously, casting all your cares on him because he
Mm.
cares for you. And it was just, it was just mind blowing, the whole concept of it. And I wanted it specifically to be a catchy song. I didn't want it to be complicated, and I didn't want it to have too many melodies, because sometimes I can get
Yeah.
carried away with harmonies or whatever. But I wanted it to be catchy, and I wanted it to be memorable.
Mm.
And I wanted when people hear it to feel it as well. So a lot of the things I did in the song was very intentional. Yeah. So yeah, and it's here. Can't believe it's
Yeah,
released.
man. It's release date. Like, how does it feel to be like, to have it like finally out there?
It feels just unbelievable. I feel excited. I feel happy. I'm relieved as well, a little bit, because all of the like anxiety you get sometimes. But I
Mm.
would say the main thing that I feel is that I am exactly where I need to be. For the first time in my life, I feel that I'm actually doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing.
That's
And for
awesome.
me, over years and years of running after this or doing that, it is mind blowing for me to even feel this way. But that's how I feel. I feel like I'm finally in the place that I need to be. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I can't wait. I was in the studio today again. Just more things I need to put down. Um,
Okay.
so
I love that. Well, I'm gonna ask you about that, but we'll cut to the track. So yeah, for
yeah.
those of you guys who don't know, this is Nicole Sanderson, and she just released her new single today at midnight, and it's called He Cares. Let's play it
Mm-hmm.
right now.
That's Jermaine, by the way.
Ah.
When I was a little girl, my mommy used to tell me, Nicole, you can be anything. But as I got older, I learned that God has a plan for my life. So I decided to trust Him in every little thing I did. He's never failed me yet. How can I forget the times that He's brought me through? So when I'm feeling down, He's there. And even when I'm lonely, He's there. And even when I feel like I'm gonna lose my way, no matter what I always say, I know that He cares for me. I know that He cares for you. I know that He cares. I know that He cares. I know that He cares for us. I know that He cares for me. I know that He cares for you. I know that He cares. I know that He cares. I know that He cares for us. I've been trying all my life to handle every difficult situation on my own. You give me a lifeline, and you came at the right time and showed me that you'll always be there. So all you gotta do is get on your knees, just when you're feeling all alone or in need. See, without a doubt, my God will work it all out. So when I'm feeling down, He's there. And even when I'm lonely, and even when I feel like I'm gonna lose my way, no matter what I always say, I know that He cares for me. I know that He cares for you. I know that He cares. I know that He cares. I know that He cares for us. I know that He cares for me. I know that He cares for you. I know that He cares. I know that He cares. I know that He cares for us. Whenever I think about the goodness of my God, I think about all He's done for me. Yeah. I never knew I could find someone like Him. Now I take the opportunity to say, I know He cares for me. I know He cares for you. I know that He cares. I know that my Jesus cares for you. Everybody say, I know that He cares. I know that He cares. I know that He cares. You should know that He cares for you. Yeah. Oh, I know that He cares. I know that He cares. I know that He cares for me. I know that He cares. I know that He cares. God always keeps His promises. I know that He cares. He cares. He cares. He cares for you. I know that He cares for us. You should know that He cares for you.
Yeah, man. That was Nicole Sanderson with He Cares. I feel like a radio like DJ. That was Nicole Sanderson with He Cares on Gospel on Fridays. Congratulations, man. Yeah,
Thank
you know what,
you.
one thing I thought was like I definitely hear like I hear the Mary Mary influence in
Mm-hmm.
like the bridge, the transitional bridge,
Mm-hmm.
like into like a minor. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely pulled
So
in
you
all of
said
my influences there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you said you were in the studio. You were in the studio today.
I
Like,
was.
so
Yeah.
does that mean we're thinking that we're already thinking of the future? We're like, so what is
Yeah.
the
There's
future for you?
there's a surprise for everybody. soon.
Y'all don't want to
But
give
the
One Sound
future,
Music a little exclusive. Y'all want to tell
yeah,
us like
uh,
you don't have to.
there's a Christmas surprise coming. Maybe I'll just say
Ooh,
that, whatever that means.
okay.
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
Christmas surprise coming. But yeah, so yeah, sign up to my mailing list or whatever they're called, so that you don't miss it. You don't want to miss this one. But
Yeah.
honestly, music is like one of those things. It's very contagious. Once you start, you just can't. You just have to keep going, and it's almost like a
Yeah.
tap now. The tap has actually been opened for me now, and I'm just literally just ideas upon ideas, and I just want to get them down and just start producing music and getting them out there. I'm not the best at social media and stuff like that. I try my best to do as much as possible, but really I just want to do the music, and I want to hopefully do a collaboration with Soul Thirst. Hopefully they'll allow me, the celebrities, if I could like
Yeah.
do a feature or something. That would be amazing. But yeah, who knows? I just think gospel music in the UK has been a bit dry for quite a few years. There's been one or two artists that have been consistent and have been great, but I feel like we need more. There's more talented people. I want everybody who has a voice to do something. There's room for everyone, to be honest. And so, yeah, I'm just going to keep creating music as much as until I can't anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, who knows where it will go or what will be next. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I definitely feel like in terms of I feel like there's like I can't remember who was saying this to you the other day, but I feel like there's like a renaissance of you sort of gospel UK gospel talent. And I think you're just starting to see like people more and more and more just like take matters into their own hands, especially like Adventist artists who
Yeah.
like I guess traditionally have not been in the forefront or even
No.
been doing very much. And there's been people, of course, like scripture says, a theocentric, and people who've been like trying to push this. But I think now definitely people are just feeling, I don't know, and I feel like this is the year for like this is the year
Yes,
that's
this is
really
the year.
birthed a lot of things. And it's what's so interesting is like almost there's like a consistency of message between you
Mm,
guys, which is I found is really interesting because Karen's
mm,
talking about songs of deliverance in a year like this. We've got like Joel and he's talking about nothing but the blood and like the battle, like his truth
mm.
is marching on. Like I
Yeah.
think Shemaine released a single called He Cares. So it's like same thing. We got Soul First singing
Same.
like
Yeah.
they got Have Mercy. It's like these themes are like people are really, and it's not necessarily like all these songs have been written this year necessarily.
No.
It's just like
No.
God sometimes he's almost like he's kept some of this stuff under wraps. Is
Yeah.
like, okay, my people are going to need this now, so let me just
Totally agree.
push this out. I think it's amazing,
Totally
man.
agree. I think it's fantastic. And I'm hoping that by me doing it, people will say, okay, if Nicole can do it, then I definitely can do it. And I'm going to bring something as well, because I feel like we're all at the table, but we all need to bring a dish. And we all have been given the skills to make food or whatever, if you want to use that analogy, but we all have skills. And I think it's time to just release things. It's so needed. And I think one of the things for me that was the most discouraging growing up in the Adventist church was that I heard for years and years, there's going to be a studio built. We're going to have a studio for people to come and record. And now we're still waiting, let's be honest, for that studio. And I realize it's never going to come because the focus for the conference at the time was not in the right place. I'm sorry, it wasn't. And I think there wasn't enough people thinking ahead to a time like now. But thank God for technology, because he's given us, some of us are recording from our homes, vocals, able to send things by email. So it's even more possible. But that for me, I would say was very discouraging growing up, hearing about this studio and we're going to have this and we're going to release albums, and it just never came. And you know, it's a shame. But what I say to people now is just go for it. You can do it. Go for it. If God has put that message in you, you need to share it.
And I feel like that's what's almost happened like over the last few years in terms of, at least in technology, there's been like a democratization in that everybody now has the same access. Like you
Yeah.
might not have the best quote, but you have something that you can send, or you can order a little mic, you can order yourself an interface, teach yourself Logic, and just like sort of get on with it. And I think that's
Yeah.
almost what God needs in this time, is not necessarily people that are going to look to a church or to a conference and say,
Yeah.
when are you going to do that, or what are you going to do that? I'm not saying that we shouldn't hold people to account, but I'm saying that we've got to be self-starters. We've got to say,
We
you know
do.
what, I know what God has placed on my heart, I know what I have
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like. I don't know, I feel like in a sense you guys may know what this has done, but you might not ever know the full impact of, for other people to see, like a bunch of artists releasing music. Because to me, I've not lived in, so I've lived in a time where there's been people here and there bringing out music, sure, but not like this many, sort of this
No.
many people all at once,
No.
like so much going on, and people really sort of like trying to push
Yeah.
music forward in the Adventist church. I haven't lived through a time where we even had a platform like this to speak on it and things like
No.
that. So
No.
it's like,
And
man, things have just, yeah.
that's why I love One Sound so much, because it's so much more powerful than I think you guys even intended for it to be in the beginning. And I think it is going to be even more of a platform, even more powerful. Who knows, it might have its own record label, One Sound record label, and maybe that is what we've been gearing towards. Perhaps that's what needs to happen. I just got to a stage in my life where I didn't want to keep making excuses. Whether that's even my own personal, imposter syndrome, thinking, am I really good enough? Am I actually, I'm not as good as that person. Oh, I had to remember that I'm not meant to be like anybody else. I'm just meant to do Nicole. That's it. That's all I've been asked to do. God has only asked me to do Nicole. He's not asked you to be like A, B, and C. He's given you this, and he wants you to be who you are. That's it. And so I had to stop making excuses, and I even put obstacles in my own way. Oh, but I'm doing this, and oh, I'm busy with this, and oh, it's going to take so long. Oh, I haven't got the money. Oh, I haven't. Listen, you have to just start. You have to just start. And God definitely blesses you and blesses your efforts. Trust me, He definitely blesses you. Things that you think are minuscule end up to help you. I was asked by BBC Radio Berkshire to sing for their Sunday service every morning. And at first I was like, okay, that's cool. And then it went on and on and on. And I'm talking about, I had to be up at 7:30 Sunday morning, because when I sing at 8:30, my voice can't be croaky because I'm doing it live.
Wow.
So it just went on and on and on and on. And I remember thinking, man, this is too much. What's going to happen? I even tried to hint, can we have someone else? No, Nicole, can we stick with you? Because people really enjoy what you're doing. And I thought, what is God doing here? But He was preparing my voice. And He, like, even just the discipline, he disciplined me over those every Sunday, every Sunday for like 8 weeks straight, singing live in the morning, half asleep, singing live in the morning, hymns, no music, no backing track, nothing. But
really?
It gave
Just
me
straight, just you straight.
That's what I wanted. So, but it really has made me so disciplined, and I would never have got that if I didn't do that. And if I didn't do that, they wouldn't have wanted to play my music when I then released it. And if I didn't do that, they wouldn't be asking me for suggestions of who else they can use or what other ideas they can bring to the show. And if I didn't do that, they wouldn't be asking me, like, you have to understand that the way that God works is that He requires so much of us, but He's not going to force us. And sometimes things may look to us like, what's the point in doing this, man? What is this? But He knows later down the line why He wants you to do that. And now I have a relationship with people who I never knew before lockdown, and who now are like asking me if I can produce an album of just hymns, because the older generation who listen on the radio want to hear my voice in hymns. And so I have to now consider putting that on my timescale. But it's exciting because it's just, I love ideas. You see, I'm the type of person, I love ideas. So it's exciting. And I just want to continue to do what God wants me to do. That's it.
Yeah.
And this has been a journey, but it's been very clear that this is what he wants of me. So
Yeah.
it's been great.
Yeah, I love that, man. I think one of the things that you said was really powerful. I think almost the message that's coming across is kind of walking in obedience. And I think that's like a really key like lesson for us to take away, in that
Yes.
sometimes we don't know what God is going to do just because of our obedience. Just our yes can open up so many doors that we would never have known if we didn't, put obstacles in our own way, if we didn't talk ourselves down. There's so many examples in the Bible where, you know, people have said, like, I think is it Isaiah who says, I'm but a child. And like, oh, is it Isaiah Samuel? One of the places where he's like, I'm but a child. Who am I to speak? And God's like, you know what? I'm going to give you the words to say. And because of that obedience, there's chapters in the Bible about them. But if there was a no there, who knows what would have happened there?
Exactly.
And
This
so
is the
there's such
thing.
power in obedience. Like, honestly.
Absolutely, totally. I've seen it in my own life. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us. Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed going back down memory lane with Mary and Virtue. Like, sheesh, man, I don't get to talk about them enough.
I know. People just don't know, honestly. I'm about to, like, when I finish this, I'm going to listen to some of their music. It's very nostalgic to me. It just makes me feel calm and happy.
Yeah, man. Those were the days, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Thank you so much. If you guys don't know, if you just joined the live stream, this is Nicole Sanderson, and she just released her single, He Cares. You can get it everywhere. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Music, all of those platforms. But please, if you can, buy the single, support her ministry, because
if you like it.
Mate, this stuff ain't free. Ain't free. So, when you're in your bed at night tonight, just play it on Spotify, just put it on repeat, just go to sleep with it, just let it stream some time so that she can get the the tiny amount of royalties that Spotify gives to you.
Keep it on for a while.
Yeah. Exactly. But Nicole, thank you so much for this. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you. I think we're back in a couple of weeks, so we will see you then. But don't forget, we have a concert tomorrow at 4:30. Tomorrow at 4:30, we'll be here on Instagram, we'll be on YouTube. Karen is doing her release concert. We've got special guests, all sorts of things. It's going to be great. So tune in, and we will see you then. Bye for now.